It's Coco. Welcome to my resin channel. This is gonna be a little passion project. I don't know if anyone's gonna care about these videos, but I love doing resin. I've done it years ago when I was like 13 or something. I'm now 21, nearly 22, and I'm getting back into it. I'm very excited, but I definitely did a lot more research this time than I did compared to when I was 13. And I'm noticing a few things that I definitely did not know at the time, which mainly was like about protecting yourself when using resin. It's literally no joke. And that is why I wanted to do this video of what I got for supplies to get started with resin, because I see so many videos that are like these really cute like DIY videos of girls making resin pieces in their room and they're not wearing a mask. And I'm not saying one of those like medical masks, no. You need one of these actual masks. And so that is why I wanted to make this video and do a resin supplies haul and tell you the research that I've done and what I've gotten to get started on this. And just because I know there are some people who are going to be like, I didn't even know, I was not aware that you need this heavy duty protection from resin, because it's literally harsh chemicals and you can literally get severely ill from inhaling it, even if you don't smell it. Okay, let's get into the haul. I don't want to come across too preachy. It's just like, I just know so many people have no idea, and it's really sad to me because I'm like, there's literally people who didn't know who now have chronic illnesses that are insanely serious because they just didn't know. And so I just wanted to do this haul, show you guys what I got, have some fun, and but also like really put it in people's minds like resin is not a joke. It's a harsh chemical. It's cute, but you need to protect yourself from it so that you don't get sick. Anyway, so to get started with, the resin that I ended up getting is this particular one that has UV resistance. So this is something I really have to test which one I'm gonna like. The previous one that I had was a 1-to-1 ratio of volume, so I could just like fill up 2 cups to the same line and it would be fine. With these, it's a 2-to-1 ratio, but also it's not volume, it's weight. So it's good to do your research whether the resin you have, the, how do you say that, the ratio, whether it's actually for the weight or the volume. Because even if it's 1-to-1, but it's according to weight, it's not just filling up 2 cups to the same line, because it doesn't necessarily weigh the same, like the velocity of it, is that the word? No, that's the speed word. My English, I know all these words in Dutch, but my English is not my first language. So I'm like, density, I think it's called density. The density doesn't necessarily have to be the same for the 2 components. Okay, wow. Another thing that I noticed when I was watching people's videos was that they were saying about some resins like, oh, it discolored, it got yellow, it's crap resin. If your resin discolors, it's not actually bad resin, it just means that it doesn't have a UV blocker in it, so it's not UV resistant. So that means that you just have to get yourself UV blocker for resin and mix that in with your resin to make sure that it doesn't get yellow. Or you can also get resin that already has UV blocker in it, which is what I got because I just think it's handier to have the least amount of products to like have to mix and think about ratios and stuff. But yeah, if you have a resin and you're like, oh my gosh, it discolors, it's just because it's not resistant enough and not necessarily because it's bad. Just get yourself a blocker, mix it in, and it should probably be totally fine. But this is the one that I ended up getting. Another little bit of supplies that I got were some mixing cups and spatulas to mix with that are wood. I got these mixing cups because they're reusable, you can just squeeze out the resin, and also because it has guidelines for different ratios and how much you would need of things. So it has for like 1-on-1, but this is if it is according to volume, which mine is not. It's according to weight, so it shouldn't work for me like that. I will still need to use a scale, but I got these mainly because they are reusable and I can like remove the resin from them after it's hardened and just use them again. Another thing that I got was gloves. Now these are work gloves. You actually also have gloves that are made more for harsh chemicals, and they're more of like this airtight plastic stuff and a lot thicker. And the reason that I didn't get those but I got these is because I literally couldn't get them anywhere in a small size. And this is something that I noticed also when I was shopping for the respiratory mask that I'll show you in a second. There's like sexism going on in like the hardware store department. Even online, even in the hardware store, everything is made for men. And I just think that's kind of like a bad thing, because there might be women who need working gloves and a respiratory mask, you know, but everything was in large sizes. Getting a respiratory mask in a small size was such a struggle, and I have a really tiny face, but I still want to be able to protect myself, and getting a mask that's too big is just not going to do anything. So yeah, that is why I got these gloves, but these are just like working gloves for if you're doing heavy duty work, and they are good protection, as you can see, like that. And these are actually my size. I was able to get these in a medium, so I don't have the tiniest hands. I didn't need a small. This one is actually perfect, but I wanted to get these instead of like the regular ones that you throw away, because I want to reduce the amount of like single-use plastics that I use and like throw out all the time. So these are reusable. I also have some safety goggles already, and let me demonstrate how small my face is. And this is one size fits all from the hardware store. They had no size options. This is the size that they had. Like, I'm not kidding when I'm saying that there's something going on there where they are just kind of not thinking that there's any women who are going to buy their stuff. But anyway, it's a whole nother video topic that I do definitely feel very strongly about, but it's a whole nother video topic. Anyway, so the next thing that I got is actually a respiratory mask. I got one from 3M, and I got it in a medium. I was not able to get this anywhere in a small, but a medium should probably be fine. It looks like this. It's actually so much more lightweight than I had expected. Oh yeah, I definitely think that fits fine. I'm very happy with it. And then of course I had to get some filters. Now it's important that you get the filters that are specifically for gases and not for dust particles, because you want this to protect you from chemical gas. And what I think is really important to note, for those of you who don't know, is that you don't necessarily have to be able to smell a gas in order for it to be toxic or even deadly. It can absolutely be, is scentless a word? I don't know, once again, it's not my first language, but it doesn't necessarily have to smell bad, or you have to feel it in your nose in order for it to be really, really, really terrible for you and make you potentially very sick. And so I think that is one of the big reasons, because I know there's resins that smell, but there's also resins that don't. And that is where people think, because they don't smell it, that it's not bad for them. But it's really not a joke, and if you're exposed to it for a longer time, it can have serious damages to your lungs and to your health. So make sure that you get a good respiratory mask. I just really want to put it out there. Get a mask, okay? Okay, and then the last thing that I got in the mail today actually made me so excited, because this is like so nostalgic to me, but it's E6000 glue. And E6000 glue is going to be what I use to adhere the little rhinestones to my projects. And it's just a really strong glue. It's also flexible, you can paint over it. It's just great. I really love it, and this is gonna really help me to embed little rhinestones onto my work. So anyway, that was my first video on this channel. If you're wondering what I'm gonna be doing here, it's gonna be resin tutorials that are kind of like Japanese kawaii inspired, so like very sparkly, a lot of rhinestones. I'm gonna be making jewelry boxes, stuff like that. So it's definitely gonna be kind of like that. Is it called decora? I think so. Like something like that, like anime, sparkle, Sailor Moon aesthetic kind of resin art video. So I hope that you guys are excited about that. If you love sparkle, you're gonna love this channel. Also got me some slack, because it's literally been how many years? Like 9 years almost since I've last done this. So I definitely need warming up. But thank you so much for watching. Hope that you enjoyed. It would make my world if you would subscribe to me. You can also follow me on Instagram, and actually some of these pieces that I'm going to be making are going to be available on my Etsy store. So maybe if you're watching this far in the future, you can actually find them on my Etsy store. So that will be linked down below as well. I love you guys so much. See you later. Bye. Mwah.